Okay, here we go, everybody. We're going to kick off Mod 7 Section 2, possibly get Section 3 in this one as well. They're both pretty short. We're going to talk about SMAW, shielded metal arc welding, also known as stick welding equipment. In this section, Section 2, we're going to identify and describe various types of machines, identify and describe cables and connectors, and identify common tools used to clean welds. The trade terms we're going to talk about in this section are the duty cycle, governor, and motor generator. Duty cycle is it's kind of what separates expensive machines from cheap machines. The cheap machines have a low duty cycle. In a 10-minute period, they can run, 20, 30, 40, 50% of the time. That's a 20, 30, 40, 50% duty cycle. The machines we have in our shop, the XMTs that are in the 15 welding booths, those have a 100% duty cycle, meaning you can run them at their whatever the rated welding amps are 100% of the time, and they'll keep on going. So duty cycle is the percentage of a 10-minute period that a welding machine can continuously produce its rated amps without overheating. Governor is a device used to limit engine speed. I don't know if you guys have ever driven a golf cart or listened to a generator or any kind of a gas-powered piece of equipment. It sounds like it's running. It could run faster when it needs to. If you put a load on it, the governor will give it more gas so it can hold a certain temperature, but it keeps it from over revving. It's also used in big trucks, 18-wheelers on the road. They limit how fast they can run, 65 miles an hour, 67 miles an hour. If you guys know anybody that's a truck driver, ask them if they have a governor on their truck that limits the speed they can drive those trucks. Then motor generator, that is a combination device such as a welding machine that's got a motor that turns a shaft on a generator, which in turn produces AC voltage. A welding machine is a motor generator, just a regular generator that you have to run either your house or some tools when the electricity's out or you don't have electricity. It's a gas motor running a generator. It's called a motor generator. Those are trade terms that you'll need to know. Welding machines, like any other tools, have specific classifications, special types, and rated capacities. This section explains the use of these welding machines within these specified areas. Turn the page. Here we go. So SMAW machines are classified as AC, DC, or AC-DC. SMAW machines classified as AC, produce only AC, DC, produce only DC. AC-DC machines do both. Hey, look at that. They look the same. This shows, let me close that. I'm getting crazy. Primary voltage power line, transformer, electrical box that steps it down using the breakers, the different size breakers and wires that flow to your outlet. The wires are only as big as the electricity they can handle. For example, in our shop we have two different size outlets. We got the bigger outlets that run the welding machines. We got the smaller outlets that run the grinders. They have different size wire running from here to here. If the wires get overheated because you plug something in that's too big, it gets the breaker senses that you're trying to draw too many amps and the breaker trips. So you guys, the breaker shuts off in your welding booth, you have to get somebody to help you, or you go back to the electrical box to turn the breaker back on. It's because either the breaker's getting bad or the wire's overheated or the draw on the current was too much. You might have been using your grinder too hard, or your grinder could be getting bad and using more power than the circuit can provide. Either way, the circuit breakers are designed to keep these wires from overheating and starting a fire. And so as you can see, it steps down. Here's the power line outside. Transformer steps it down to something that can be used in here. And in here it steps it down depending on what kind of an outlet there is. And then you plug in your equipment. Come-in conduit with primary power source of a welding machine can cause electrocution. Ensure welding machines are properly grounded. Transformer welding machines. Here we're talking about duty cycle, 10-minute machines. We talked about that already. SMAW selection process. The welding process requires a variable voltage power source with a constant current. Other processes may require constant voltage, but this module focuses on SMAW. The type of welding current, AC or DC. Most SMAW processes use DC. The welding machine is a transformer. If you opened it up inside, you'd see some windings. Got an on-off switch, amp control. This is an old Lincoln. This is actually a machine like the one I learned how to weld on. You just click, 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 turn it up, turn it down, weld. That's about all you had. Maximum amp required, consider. Oh, we're already in section 3. 5 minutes in. We're going to finish up. Let's continue on. Transformer rectifier machines. On-off switch. A transformer rectifier machine. AC or DC selector. Right here. On-off switch. Workpiece lead connection. This is where you'd hook in your welding lead. And this is the other one. Here you have pictures of banks. These are called banks of machine. 8-pack welding machine. They have lifting eyes right here. And power switches. And these racks are where you put all your welding machines. Skid rails. Racks with power panels. Power and control cables on the back. It's pretty slick. Pretty slick. DC machines. Inverter power sources. Inverter type machines provide smaller, lighter power sources. Another advantage lies in size reduction. That little Lincoln machine we have in our location is a inverter machine. Engine-driven generators. Got a gas engine. That's like a gas-powered welding machine, or diesel-powered. It's got a gas or diesel engine in here that runs a welder. Engine generators have, just like a lawnmower or anything else, it's got starter, battery, fuel gauge, temperature gauge, hour meter, voltage meter. How do you know when it's time to change the oil? This is a test question. Somewhere in here it's going to tell you do your service based on the hours. Keep an eye on your hours. Duty cycle. The percentage of time a plasma arc cutting machine can cut without overheating within a 10-minute period. But it says plasma, but we're talking about welding machines. But plasma has a duty cycle as well. They probably had a little typo. Going green when performing fuel maintenance. Make sure to prevent spills. Welding cable and connectors. We do a lot of work in our lab on the cabling. They carry the current, and the size is depends on what size machine you have, as does the electrode. Everything is driven by the capacity of the machine. This chart refers to recommended cable sizes based on the capacity of the machine, the rated capacity of the welding machine. So you select cable based on the capacity. Or you would, if you have a machine that'll run 500 amps, you don't want to get 100 amp stuff. It'll mess it up. Lugs and quick connects. This is what you connect cables to this. Crimp it, and you can attach it. For all of you guys that have worked with me on maintaining our cables, you know about these things. Y'all know how to set these up. Before the year's out, everybody should have done maintenance on cables so you can work on them. Workpiece clamps, also known as earth clamps or ground clamps. Establish the connection between the workpiece and the workpiece lead. They're mechanically connected. This is what makes your circuit. This is kind of like the kind that we have in our lab. Different types. There's some that are magnetized. Those look pretty slick. Electrode holders, also known as stingers. It's what you connect your welding rod to. They have different types. This is a collet type. clamp type. This is what we use, the clamp type electrode holder. There's different tools for cleaning welds. By the way, what chip and hammer can produce some slag. Always have to wear safety glasses. Make sure you wear safety glasses. Hand tools, files, chip and hammers, wire brushes, small power tools, slag chippers, scalers, common tools used by welders. That's something everybody in here already knows. Hand tools, it's extremely important that the base metal clean thoroughly before you weld it. It'll show up on your x-ray if it's not. Also makes it hard to weld. Mechanical methods have been developed, but all the hand tools that we use here are wire brushes, chip and hammers, files. Pneumatic. If it's pneumatic, that means it runs on air. You know that. Pneumatic cleaning and slag removal tools. These are a needle scaler and a weld slag chipper. All runs on air. Section review. Heavy duty industrial welders. Heavy duty industrial transformer welders are likely to require. One is, look over here on the right side. Section 2 is D. That's for three-phase, heavy duty. Three-phase is heavy duty. Remember, heavy duty is three-phase. That's what we have over there on the back of the 15 boost. Those big plugs, those are 480 volt three-phase power supply. The longer the welding lead, the larger the cable should be. Yes, that's true. And we're going to call that D. It reduces voltage drop. If you got a welding rig and 200 feet of cable and you roll all that out, you set your machine on 85, you probably don't have 85 at the end of that 200 feet. You probably need to turn up to 95 to get 85 down there. Which of the following tools are more likely to be used for cleaning slag? That's going to be B. File, wire brush, and chipping hammer. There we go. All right, that's going to end us for Section 2. We're going to make a short video right after this for Section 3. Thank you for watching.